Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new to the show, hit subscribe. If you've been here before, hit the thumbs up button. Yesterday we did a video compilation on people that couldn't stand the state of Texas. So today I tried to find a bunch of people that couldn't stand the state of California. But it was actually difficult because every video was actually a Californian defending their state. So just like people love Texas, people feel the same way about California. However, I still found a couple people that don't like the state. Let's hear what they have to say. I hope you enjoy.
Okay, friends, so today we're doing a field trip. I'm going to show you around the back of my house, show you why I want out of California so bad. And here's a fun fact. You see that basket on my porch? Well, I had to buy another one because somebody stole it off my porch. So now that one is zip tied to my porch. You literally can't have anything nice here. They take everything. So I live in the Los Angeles County area in a beach town. It's where I grew up. I was born and raised here. It's a nice neighborhood, but there are no more nice neighborhoods here in California because it's just full of crime and lawlessness. Last night, about 10 p.m., we heard a drive-by shooting out here. I don't know what they hit, who they were aiming at, but we heard shots going literally right in front of my house. Like, you could tell that they were driving as they were shooting because you could hear it, the volume change. And that happened last night. We hear gunshots all the time. We have the police helicopter up every night. It's just crazy. So last year sometime I was going to pick up my trash cans and I heard something jingling around one of them. So I opened it up and there was a 9mm in there, okay? And the clip was almost full. It had 3 missing rounds and it was dumped into my trash can. So of course I called the police. They came and got it.
How do you hear an inanimate object? She said she heard something jingling in there, and then she said she opened up the lid and found a gun. I don't deny that she found a gun, but it's like, what was it, dancing and talking in there?
But yeah, stuff like that happens all the time. So this is part of my alley. I'm always finding needles out here. So people sit here in the shade and they shoot up. Okay,
Wow.
so I'm super happy to see this. I'm going to go ahead and post a picture right here. But the Dodge City Crips, they had graffitied this whole wall. I just saw that it was cleaned up. I think it was cleaned up today sometime. But it was probably like 2 feet tall, the lettering, and it was all over. They tagged. But it looks like they painted, which is great. This happens so often in Los Angeles, well, I think California. You can't have anything nice. They tag everything. If you call 311, that's for the city, and one of the services they do is graffiti cleanup. And they have people who've been caught doing graffiti, cleaning it up, which I think is perfect.
That is perfect. So imagine you live here your whole life. You see a bunch of people shooting up in the back. You see graffiti in the back. It gets painted over, but then I'm sure another gang comes in and graffitis it back up, right? That would be crappy. So I could definitely see how she isn't really happy with the state of California, but I don't think she's going to move because that's where she lives.
So California no longer will allow houses to be built with gas stoves. Not only that, they want to convert all houses which already have gas stoves to electric because it's cleaner. Even though electric uses more energy, even though California can already not handle the grid as it is now yet, by a certain date, I think it's 2030 or 35, we can no longer buy gas cars, we can only buy electric cars, even though already now they are asking us not to charge our cars because we can't handle the system. Also, another point about California is California likes to shut off the power when it gets too windy around here. California is the biggest state for money, but yet we have to shut down the power when it gets too windy around here because our infrastructure can't handle a little bit of wind. So now, when we all have electric stoves, we can't cook our food that's rotting in our fridge because you shut off our grid, because you turned it off.
So it's interesting when I hear her talk, I think everything she says makes complete sense to me. But there were some comments where they were basically, again, defending the state. They're like, hey, when it gets windy, the reason that they turn off the utilities isn't because of brownouts or blackouts, it's because fire dangers and stuff. So it sounds to me like people in California love their state enough that they're willing to sacrifice. Apparently, if there's a brownout or blackout and it's needed, they're willing to kind of live with it, or at least some of them.
As someone born and raised in California, you can always spot a Californian by the way that they drive. So if you see somebody driving like an absolute fucking idiot, they're from California.
But in their defense, they have to be, because when I went out there with my family to Anaheim and what have you, when we went to Disneyland, it was impossible to get from one lane into the other on the freeway unless you just kind of went for it. You got to be proactive, you got to be bold, and that's probably how you become successful in California, right? You got to be proactive and bold and go for it. Freaks the hell out of all non-California drivers, though.
Living in California is fucking ridiculous, let alone raising a family in California. We genuinely can't afford a home that would fit our entire family of 6. And if it's not the homes that are getting you, then it's your utilities that are randomly just starting to double. And if it's not the utilities, then you can bet your grocery bill is probably going to do it to you. It's like climbing this uphill battle that you'll never win. Luckily, me and my husband were on the same page, so we're leaving California. But how do people do it here? Because you can't save money here. And unless you're some millionaire, you're living paycheck to paycheck no matter what you do. I lived here all my life, and it's sad that I have to leave because it's just impossible to make it here. And then we have our parents' generation telling us, oh, you just need to work harder. It's not the same. Our money now does not go as far as the money back then. No matter.
It really does seem like in California, or at least in certain parts, you better be making 6 figures to probably make it work. Because I agree with what she says. If you have a family of 6, you probably do have to move, or at least find someplace in California outside of the real expensive areas, which to a non-California, that's all areas in California. Well, let's see what she has to say.
What is it about Los Angeles that makes me hate it so much? Is it the sense of entitlement, the intellectual vapidness, the lack of authenticity, the woo-woo spirituality, the conspicuous consumption, the adoration of capitalism? What? I don't get it. I'm sure it's a combination of all those things, but I have never felt at home here. I have been here for 3 weeks, and I cannot wait to leave.
I don't blame her for wanting to leave, because anywhere that you've been for 3 weeks where you get that shock value, sometimes you do want to rebel and repel off and leave, right? But at the same time, I think you got to give a place longer than 3 weeks to see if you legitimately like it. There's probably a lot of Californians that didn't like it for their first month or two, but after a while, you probably do learn to love the place.
I live in California. I love it. It's great weather. Today is December 1st, and look at the weather in California. It is just awesome. But here's some reasons why other people are not moving to California. Number one, it's too freaking expensive. Homes are very, very expensive. Twice the median price of an average medium price home in USA. Taxes are too high. There's a lot of congestion. There's a lot of homelessness, and so on and on. So yeah, if you really want to move, go ahead. But if you're thinking about California or Washington or Florida or Texas, you have other choices.
Maybe the real reason that we as non-Californians dislike the state is jealousy. It really does cost an arm and a leg to live out there, so unless you have really, really good money, living out there really isn't a good choice for you. On the other hand, they have a bunch of crime, a bunch of pollution, especially as you're driving down the freeway. My goodness, between the graffiti and the smog on the signs, it makes me wonder why people love it so much. But again, it could just be because I'm jealous. I'm allowed to be jealous. No, I really don't like that state.
I'm in Walmart and the employee is talking to the manager, and the manager is like, oh yeah, we ain't got time today, we gotta hustle hustle. Meanwhile, your lazy ass leaned up against the damn products and shit, talking to another employee that's probably in management, just simply doing nothing, but going to tell the other employee, oh, you gotta do this, that, and the third.
I hate that too. A lot of times the manager knows how to do everybody's role. But if it's busy and you have one worker moving at the speed of spit, you should get behind the register too and help make things move faster. And like she said, if there's you talking to a supervisor, watching one man that's working, that's ineffective. Get in there, pull up your sleeves, and get to work. I agree with this lady.
Well, what the fuck are you doing? What are
Yeah.
you doing? People that's in management positions feel like all they gotta do is manage people. Please lead by example, because half of y'all didn't get there from hard work. Majority of y'all got there from kissing ass. That's how you fucking got there. You was an ass kisser and they promoted your ass. That's it. You was lazy as fuck. They stay promoting the lazy ones. That's what they do. The ones that kiss ass and brown nose and telling everybody else, them the ones that they be steady promoting.
Do you guys agree with that? Does the brown noser of the office tend to get the supervisor or the promotional role, right? Do they get that promotion over you because they kissed butt? Or is it one of those things where once they become manager, then all of a sudden they don't want to get their hands dirty anymore? Because I feel like there's a lot like that, where once they're in that managerial role, they're like, no, that job is yours. I'm the manager.
They don't be promoting, they do not be promoting the ones that's actually working, great attendance and all sort of shit. They promote the ass kisses, the ones that they feel like is an ally. That's all that shit is. And nobody be respecting they managing ass, because they know, everybody that work there know, you fucking brown-nosed your way here, or you screwed your way to the damn top.
Some people do screw their way to the middle, and sometimes they get lucky and screw their way all the way to the top. But I think what she's forgetting is this. People that work hard and make money for companies, especially like in sales or commission type roles, the company would be a fool to take you off the sales floor and give you that supervisor position. You're too valuable as an employee where you are, at least potentially.
I'm going to say a wild statement. California is no better than the South when it comes to segregation and racism.
Really?
They just did a better job at hiding it.
Tell us.
I'm a California, right? And I'm a delivery driver. And I've done Uber, Lyft. I've done all type of deliveries, right? I now deliver treatments. So I've been in all type of places, right, that I'm not supposed to be in. And I do mean that very seriously. You can see the people looking at me as I'm doing a delivery. The neighbors like, hurry up and do your delivery and get the fuck on. Gated communities, places up in the hills, places you can tell that it was inherited, type homes, and it's not going to go anywhere but in their family.
Old
$1
money.
million type mansions, ranches. Very segregated and racist. Confederate flag, Trump flags all over the place. Like, they just did a good job. The major cities in California, very much diverse. Melting pot. LA area. The Bay. The big parts. But when you get outside them big parts, oh, hunty, you will venture into some parts that make you think you are down south. Just from the feel of it, how country it is. Right? And then the feel from the people. You can tell again, they do not really like my kind, because as I'm looking out and about, I don't see too many of me's there. And that's my one thing about being a success in California. As a melanated person, you would have to live amongst probably a sprinkle of a whole bunch of salt. Then you would just get a little pepper. You know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm trying to say? That's typically the case when you make it as a brown person in California. You have to go live amongst the others up in the hills somewhere.
God, I get the vibe that everywhere in California is super expensive. Isn't that crazy? You make six figures, you might be considered poor in certain parts of California. You have to make some really good money. If you're from California and you can speak to what this man is saying, that when you're in the cities, everything is cool, kosher, there's diversity everywhere, but when you get to the outside parts and the suburbs or maybe up in the hills, all of a sudden you start to see a little prejudice and people staring at you funny. If that happens and you can vouch for that, let us know down below. Guys, I love watching videos with you. After watching people and how much they actually defended their state of California, it sounds to me like California has a lot more love than hate, which I find shocking. With that being said, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe. Come back again tomorrow. We'll watch some more videos together.